Chosen one, anchor your spirit to every single word I'm about to say. That quiet ache you've been carrying, the one that shows up right before you fall asleep. Stop running from it. The enemy is working overtime today for one reason, and one reason only. He knows who is coming. It all ends this week. The loneliness, the wondering, the silent prayers you thought no one was hearing. But here is the part that will change how you see everything. It is not ending because time ran out. It is ending because of what you have done. Think back to that moment this week when you chose to walk away from someone who was not right for you. When you closed a door that felt safe, but you knew in your spirit was keeping you stuck. You did not know it then, but that was not loss. That was preparation. That single act of obedience signed the arrival notice for the person heaven has been building for you. You did not delay your blessing. You activated it. God redirected everything in your path today to make sure this message reached you. So do not move, because I am about to read you the verdict that changes every lonely night you have ever had. You did not find this recording by accident. The algorithm did not bring you here. The Holy Spirit did. This is a divine appointment scheduled before the foundations of the earth, woven into the timeline of your life before you took your first breath. You are standing at a threshold. Stay until the final second of this message, because in the next few minutes, I am going to expose the exact lie the enemy has been planting in your mind about why this person has not arrived yet. I am going to show you the moment you unknowingly unlock the door to your divine connection. And at the end, I am going to give you the decree and the declaration that seals this season of waiting shut forever. Do not click away. Your future self is standing on the other side of this message, holding the hand of someone who was made specifically for you, begging you to stay and hear this. I know what the last 72 hours have felt like. It has not just been quiet, it has been a specific kind of quiet. The kind that presses down on your chest at night when the noise of the day finally stops and there is nothing left to distract you from the ache. Maybe you were lying in bed this week staring at the ceiling, and for a moment you started to wonder if something was fundamentally wrong with you. If maybe you were too complicated, too broken, too late, or maybe you were sitting at a table surrounded by people and felt completely invisible, watching everyone around you connected to someone. And the question that came to you was not angry, it was just tired. It was, when is it my turn? And perhaps you woke up at 3 in the morning this week, and your heart was not racing from fear. It was aching from something you could not name, a sense of nearness you could not explain, like something was close, like someone was close. You feel suspended between the life you have been living and the life you were shown in your spirit, floating in a space where the old chapters have already closed, but the new one has not yet opened in front of you. And in that suspension, the enemy has been whispering a very specific lie. Listen to your own thoughts right now, because you will recognize this voice. He has been telling you that the reason this person has not arrived is because of something you did. He is replaying that relationship you ended, that chance you did not take, that season where you gave up too soon or held on too long. He is dragging that moment back into your mind and putting a verdict on it. You disqualified yourself. You chose wrong. You missed your window. And now, the person you were meant for has been rerouted to someone else. But I need you to hear what the scripture actually says about this moment. Proverbs 19:21 says, "Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the purpose of the Lord that prevails." Listen to that promise. It is the purpose of the Lord that prevails, not the enemy's interference, not your mistakes, not the detours, not the doors you opened that you should not have, and the doors you closed before you understood why. The purpose of the Lord prevails. Every wrong turn you took was absorbed into a divine rerouting system that does not know how to fail. Every moment the enemy points to as disqualification, heaven has already redeemed as redirection. You are not disqualified, you are distinguished. The heaviness you feel right now is not the weight of abandonment, it is the weight of arrival. It is the pressure that comes right before a sealed door swings open, the tension of a promise that has been stretched to its limit and is finally about to be fulfilled. You think that season of walking away, of saying no, of sitting in the silence alone was weakness. You think the waiting was wasted time. But let me reframe your reality right now. That was not emptiness. That was purification. The person who is coming does not want a version of you that settled. They were built for the version of you that held the standard even when it hurt. Every moment you chose yourself, every boundary you kept, every night you refused to lower what God placed in your heart. That was not loneliness. That was architecture. You were being built into the person that only one specific soul on this earth was designed to recognize, choose, and never let go of. The whole world may want this person, but this person only wants you. Some messages don't just inform, they activate. If something stirred deep in your spirit just now, you may be ready to receive the Chosen One's blueprint. This sacred guide reveals the 8 divine patterns behind your calling, your suffering, and your destiny. It also comes with the full audiobook, so you can absorb it during prayer, rest, or quiet moments with God. And for those called to speak His truth, you'll also receive Activating Your Prophet Mantle, a powerful bonus ebook for those carrying a prophetic assignment. The link is in the first pinned comment, but only for a limited time. Now, let that settle. Allow the truth to sink into the marrow of your bones, into the deepest caverns of your soul. Because what I'm about to take you into is not merely a continuation of a message, a gentle nudge, or a soft whisper of encouragement. No, this is something far more profound, far more defining. It is the unfolding of a verdict, a divine decree that has been etched into the very fabric of time on your behalf. It is the revelation of a truth that will recalibrate your entire perspective on every season you've walked through, every tear you've shed, and every longing that has ever settled in your heart. You have been living in a grand, intricate story, a narrative so vast and ancient that you could not write its beginning. Long before your eyes first opened to the light of this world, before you were even aware of the quiet, persistent longing that would one day bloom within your spirit, before you ever felt the inexplicable ache for something more, for a connection yet unseen. Before that first night you stared at the ceiling in the hushed solitude of your room and asked the question you were almost too afraid to finish. A question that hung heavy in the air, weighted with hope and apprehension. God had aura. Edie, in His infinite wisdom and boundless love, penned the answer. The waiting you've endured, the seasons of apparent stillness and solitude, did not originate with your present need, with a sudden void or a missing piece in your current life. No, the genesis of this waiting was rooted in something far more ancient, far more sovereign. It began with His intention, a deliberate, sacred blueprint laid out before the foundations of the world. And let me tell you, friend, those are two entirely different things, distinct as night and day. Your need, born of earthly experience and present lack, often cries out with a sense of urgency, a desperate plea that something essential is missing from your life, a crucial ingredient for your happiness or completion. It can breed a frantic energy, a ceaseless striving to fill a perceived void. But His intention, born of divine foresight and eternal wisdom, declares with quiet authority that something magnificent is not missing, but rather something profound and perfectly tailored is being meticulously placed, carefully crafted, and intricately woven into the tapestry of your destiny. Your need, left unchecked, can produce a volatile cocktail of anxiety and panic, pushing you into hurried decisions and compromises. His intention, however, brings forth a deep, abiding peace, a sense of purposeful preparation, like a master craftsman diligently perfecting a masterpiece before its grand unveiling. Therefore, the person who is coming toward you right now, the divine connection that is drawing nearer with every passing moment, is not responding to the tremor of your need, to the desperate cries of an incomplete self. No, they are responding to the gravitational pull of the version of you that his intention has been forming, refining, and polishing in the quiet, consecrated crucible of your solitude, a version of you that is emerging, radiant and whole, from the divine blueprint. This, beloved, is the foundational truth, the bedrock upon which all subsequent understanding must rest. The delay you've experienced, the extended interlude between the planting of a promise and its tangible manifestation, was never about duration, about mere stretches of time ticking by on a clock. It was always profoundly about depth. God was not making you wait because the cosmic timing was merely off, or because some arbitrary clock had not yet struck the hour. Rather, he was making you wait because you were not yet fully yourself, not the complete, unadulterated expression of the magnificent being he created you to be. And let me be unequivocally clear, this was not because you were broken in a way that needed fixing or fundamentally flawed beyond repair. No, it was because there were still sacred layers of you that had not yet been uncovered, like an ancient city buried beneath shifting sands, waiting for the discerning hand of the archaeologist. There were dormant gifts, divine endowments tucked away within your spirit that had not yet been activated, sleeping giants waiting for the breath of God to awaken them into purpose. There was a strength, a tenacity of spirit, a resilience forged in fire that had not yet been tested, a diamond waiting for the immense pressure that would reveal its true brilliance. And crucially, there was a voice inside you, your authentic essence, your God-given identity that had not yet learned to fully trust itself, to speak its truth with unwavering conviction, to stand tall in its own unique authority. The person who is divinely assigned to you, the soul designed to walk alongside you in this next glorious chapter, does not need a polished performance, a carefully constructed facade, or a perfectly curated image. Their spirit yearns for the raw, unfiltered, real thing. They need the authentic you, the glorious you, that only emerges after you have not only survived what you survived, but allowed those experiences to refine you. After you have courageously chosen what you chose, even when the path was unclear, and still, miraculously, steadfastly, against all odds and every inclination, you refuse to allow the crucible of pain and disappointment to twist your spirit into bitterness. It is that unyieldingly hopeful, deeply authentic, profoundly resilient version of you that is now drawing forth its divine counterpart. But here is where the truth delves even deeper, penetrating past the surface understanding into the spiritual marrow of your being. Most people, with a degree of intellectual assent, understand the concept of waiting. They acknowledge it as a part of life's journey, a necessary phase. What they fundamentally fail to grasp, however, is the alchemical, transformative work that waiting actually accomplishes within them spiritually. The prophet Elijah, a giant of faith, understood this profound dynamic with stark clarity. After the earth-shattering drama on Mount Carmel, after the exhilarating triumph and the subsequent terrifying flight from Jezebel, after the roaring great fire that consumed all in its path, after the ground-splitting earthquake that shook the very foundations of the earth, After the powerful tearing wind that rent the mountains and broke in pieces the rocks, God was not present in any of those outwardly spectacular, powerful displays. He was not in the noise, the fury, or the overwhelming grandeur. No, as the biblical narrative recounts in 1 Kings, God was in the still, small voice, a whisper so delicate it could be easily missed amidst the clamor of the world and the echoes of past trauma. That profound silence was not, as it so often feels to us, an absence of God, a void of divine presence. Far from it. That silence was, in fact, the specific, ultrafine frequency on which the real, authentic, life-altering instruction traveled. It was the consecrated bandwidth upon which divine wisdom, true revelation, and the next steps of his sovereign will were transmitted. And that precisely is what your quiet season, your period of perceived waiting, has been. It has not been abandonment, a feeling of being forsaken or forgotten in the spiritual wilderness. Rather, it has been a divine frequency alignment. God has been meticulously, patiently tuning you, adjusting your spiritual receiver, honing your inner sensitivity to a specific signal, a unique vibrational frequency that only one person on this entire earth was perfectly built, divinely designed, and spiritually prepared to transmit directly to you. And the reason they have not yet found you, the explanation for their delayed arrival, is simply because the tuning process, the intricate calibration of your spirit, was not yet fully complete. Like two perfectly matched instruments, the final adjustments are being made so that when the chord strikes, it resonates with flawless harmony, an undeniable symphony of divine connection. And this sacred understanding leads us directly to a truth that most people miss entirely, a subtle yet devastating strategy employed by the enemy in this very season. His greatest objective, his most cunning ploy, has not been to overtly destroy you, to bring about your absolute ruin through dramatic external assaults. No, his more insidious aim has been to get you to disqualify yourself, to convince you to abandon your hope and your post, precisely before the grand arrival of your blessing, before your divine connection manifests. Think about the quiet terror of that strategy. He does not need to orchestrate a dramatic stoppage of your blessing if he can merely sow enough doubt, enough weariness, enough self-condemnation within you to convince you to stop believing in its possibility, to cease expecting its manifestation, to simply give up the fight within your own heart. He has no need to reroute your divine connection, to physically sever the threads of destiny that bind you to your assigned partner, if he can cunningly persuade you to abandon your post, to retreat from the very place God positioned you, right before the dawn breaks and the manifestation arrives. And so, to achieve this, he has been relentlessly using memory as a potent weapon, a carefully curated arsenal of past regrets and perceived failures. He has been reaching back into the annals of your history, plucking out your most vulnerable moments, your most painful missteps, your deepest shames, and presenting them before your inner eye as incontrovertible evidence against your future, a damning indictment of your worthiness. That relationship that ended badly, leaving scars on your heart and doubts in your mind. That poor choice you made when you were consumed by pain, when judgment was clouded by hurt. That entire season where you, out of sheer exhaustion or deep fear, settled for something you knew, deep in your gut, was not truly it, not God's best for you. He is presenting all of it, every single piece of past imperfection and human frailty, like a prosecuting attorney meticulously building an irrefutable case against your future, meticulously highlighting every flaw, every stumble, every perceived inadequacy. And he is doing it now, precisely now, in this moment of heightened spiritual tension, because the closer the arrival of your blessing gets, the more intense, the more aggressive, the more deafening the opposition becomes. He knows what is coming, and he is desperate to deter you before you can fully embrace it. Stay with me, hold fast to this truth, because what's coming next is not just a piece of information, it is the part that possesses the power to definitively break the insidious cycle of self-condemnation and spiritual warfare. This is the divine intervention, the truth that shatters every lie, and you need to be profoundly ready to receive it, to let it permeate every fiber of your being. Here is the glorious, liberating truth that the enemy absolutely does not want you to know, the secret weapon that demolishes his every argument. In the exalted, unimpeachable legal language of heaven, in the divine courtroom where ultimate justice prevails, there is no case that can stand against the redeemed. The sacred scriptures, specifically the powerful declaration found in Romans chapter 8, does not merely whisper this truth in hushed tones. It thunders it from the spiritual mountaintops with an undeniable, unshakable authority. There is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. Understand the radical implication of that pronouncement. It does not say less condemnation, a partial reduction, or a lenient sentence. No, it unequivocally declares absolute, complete, and total no condemnation. Every single piece of alleged evidence, every past mistake, every vulnerable moment, every regretful choice the enemy has painstakingly gathered and attempts to present against you, was instantly, irrevocably rendered inadmissible the very moment divine grace, purchased by the blood of Christ, was applied to your life. The heavenly case against you was not merely dismissed, it was utterly expunged, obliterated from the eternal record as if it never existed. The slate was not just wiped clean, it was eternally eradicated, leaving no trace behind. And this profound truth means something breathtaking for your future. The person who is coming toward you, your divine connection, is not walking into your murky history, into the shadowed archives of your past mistakes and failings. No, they are walking into your radiant, glorious inheritance, into the pristine, grace-covered future that God has already prepared for you. They will never truly know, in the way the enemy desperately wants them to, the version of you that the accuser keeps parading before you in the mirror, the ghost of past shames. They will only, profoundly, know the real you, the perfected you that God has been diligently, lovingly preparing and refining in the sanctifying fire of His presence and His purpose. This is the you, forged in grace, seen through the eyes of heaven, and worthy of every good thing. And this profound understanding of grace and divine preparation brings us to a crucial turning point, a pivotal moment that fundamentally shifts everything you thought you understood about this season of waiting. Because here, in this sacred juncture, the transformation you are undergoing stops being solely about passively receiving a blessing, a gift handed down from above, and begins, with intentional momentum, to be about actively becoming the blessing, embodying the very essence of what you desire to attract. It is a transition from expectation to embodiment. Many people, beautiful souls with sincere hearts, are earnestly praying for their divine connection, lifting heartfelt petitions to heaven, while simultaneously, and often unconsciously, remaining in a posture of being that, subtly but surely, repels the very thing they seek. This isn't because they are inherently bad people, or because they are spiritually immature in a judgmental sense. Rather, it is because there exists a crucial distinction between two forms of waiting. There is a version of waiting that is passive, characterized by a stagnant resignation, and a version of waiting that is profoundly active, brimming with purpose and spiritual dynamism. Passive waiting, born of weariness or doubt, implicitly declares, "I will only believe this promise when I can see it with my own eyes, when the evidence is irrefutable." It holds faith hostage to manifestation. Active waiting, however, rooted in unwavering trust and a deep knowing, bravely proclaims, "I will become the person who is worthy of this connection. I will embody the qualities of this relationship before I ever lay eyes on it. It is a proactive declaration of alignment. And let me assure you, the person you are waiting for, the soul whose trajectory is bending towards yours, is already being powerfully attracted to the version of you that shows up fully in your own life, embracing your purpose with passion, who loves deeply with an open heart that has done its healing work, and who moves forward with unwavering conviction and spiritual authority even before their physical arrival. Your inner transformation is the beacon that guides them home. Consider the remarkable example of Joseph, a man whose life was a masterclass in active waiting. He did not languish passively in the Egyptian prison cell, allowing his spirit to crumble under the weight of injustice and forgotten dreams. Instead, even in the depths of his confinement, he served with diligence, interpreted dreams with divine wisdom, and led with integrity, stewarding the resources and people entrusted to him, no matter how humble his position. He adamantly refused to allow his external confinement to become internal contamination. He consciously, fiercely kept his spirit clean, unmarred by bitterness or despair, and his divine purpose sharp, honing his gifts even while surrounded by profound injustice and betrayal. And when the moment finally arrived, when the call came from Pharaoh's palace to elevate him to the second highest position in all of Egypt, Joseph was not just merely ready. He was already functioning, already operating, already leading at the very level he was about to be divinely elevated to. His character, his integrity, his wisdom, his administrative skills, all were fully developed, honed in the crucible of his waiting season. That, my friend, is the profound invitation being extended to you right now, in this very moment. It is not an invitation to shrink into the waiting, to become smaller or diminish your light, to disappear into the shadows of your current circumstances. No, it is an invitation, a divine command, to expand inside it, to grow, to develop, to prepare, to embody the magnificent person you are destined to be, making your interior world so grand and so ready that your outer world has no choice but to conform to it. And what's coming in just a moment, the next layer of truth I'm about to unveil, will likely surprise you, perhaps even deeply challenge your ingrained patterns. It always surprises the ones who have been trying the hardest, those who have poured their every ounce of effort into seeking, striving, and manifesting, only to find themselves hitting an invisible wall. Now, once you have truly grasped the transformative power of that active posture, once you understand that your role in this season is one of conscious expansion and intentional becoming, you are ready for this next critical layer of insight. Because there is a quiet, often unconscious habit, an insidious pattern of thought that has been subtly, persistently feeding your delay, prolonging your waiting season. And here is its danger. Most people never identify it, never name it, and therefore it is never adequately addressed, never disarmed. This habit is the ceaseless, often automatic rehearsing of the lack. It manifests as a pervasive inner narrative, a spiritual lament that cycles through your mind. It is waking up each morning, and before your feet even touch the floor, before you offer a single word of gratitude, before you acknowledge the new day's potential, you find yourself instinctively scanning your life, mentally cataloging everything that is still missing, every void, every absence. It is reaching for your phone, the portal to external validation and distraction, before you reach for your purpose, for the sacred internal compass that directs your divinely appointed path. It is the unconscious tendency to measure your progress, your worth, your spiritual standing, not by the wealth of blessings and gifts that have already been deposited within you, the rich internal landscape you've cultivated, but rather by what has not yet arrived, by the empty spaces you perceive in your life. And here's the spiritual physics of it. Every single time you engage in this habit of rehearsing the lack, of mentally recounting the things you don't yet have. You are, whether you realize it or not, broadcasting a very specific, very low-frequency signal into the spiritual atmosphere. That signal implicitly declares, I am not yet in the season of receiving. I am not ready for the fullness of my blessing. And heaven, which operates not merely on the strength of your faith, but profoundly on the principle of vibrational alignment, responds to that very signal by holding the blessing, the divine connection, the manifestation respectfully in queue, until the broadcast emanating from your inner world shifts, until your frequency aligns with the abundance that is already prepared for you. Let me be clear, this is not some superficial call for toxic positivity, for plastering a fake smile over genuine pain, or denying your authentic feelings. This is about something far more foundational, far more potent. It is about spiritual physics, the undeniable laws that govern the energetic exchange between your inner world and the external manifestation of divine provision. Consider the monumental example of David. He did not sing the psalms of victory, the declarations of triumph and praise, only after the monumental battle was won, after Goliath lay vanquished at his feet. No, David sang them before. He declared victory while Goliath was still defiantly standing, mocking the armies of Israel. He sang while the entire army of Israel was still trembling in fear, paralyzed by the giant's threats. He opened his mouth, not in a plea of desperation, but in a thunderous declaration, proclaiming what God had already decided in the heavenly realms. And in that very act, the entire spiritual atmosphere shifted. The oppressive weight lifted, the spirit of fear shattered, and the path to victory was cleared. The quiet, destructive habit you are being called to break, to dismantle from its roots, is not simply negativity in a superficial sense. It is the far more insidious habit of premature acceptance of incompletion, the unconscious agreement that you are somehow lacking, unfinished, or perpetually wanting. Hear this truth and let it liberate you. You are not incomplete. You are not eternally waiting to be whole. You are right now, in this very moment, gloriously, powerfully, mid-arrival. You are a masterpiece in progress, and your next season is already being woven into your present reality. But now we must journey to a part of this truth that no one truly wants to hear, a revelation that can feel deeply uncomfortable, even confronting. And I need you, with every fiber of your being, to brace your spirit for this, to open your heart to its potentially challenging message. Because while it is the part that tends to land the hardest, to cut through the deepest layers of illusion and self-deception, it is also, paradoxically, the very part that produces the most profound, the most enduring, and the most lasting freedom you will ever experience. It is the key to unlocking true liberation. The person you are waiting for, this magnificent divine connection, this soulmate, this partner in purpose, they are not, can never be, the ultimate source of your wholeness. No human being can fill that role. They are, profoundly and beautifully, the witness of it. They are the mirror that reflects back the radiant wholeness that God has already forged within you. And if somewhere deep within the intricate architecture of your longing, in the unseen blueprints of your heart, you have unconsciously, perhaps even subtly, built this impending relationship into a rescue mission, if you have quietly, secretly, been harboring the hope that their arrival would finally, unequivocally, make you feel truly worthy, truly seen, truly chosen, absolutely valuable, finally complete, then, my beloved, there is essential work to be done, profound inner work before they can truly come into your life in a healthy, sustainable way. And please understand, this is not because you are inherently unworthy. Let me shout it from the rooftops. You are not. You are divinely worthy, created in the image of God. But it is because the moment any human being, no matter how wonderful or well-intentioned, becomes your ultimate source instead of your cherished partner, the immense spiritual and emotional weight you place upon them is a burden, a crushing responsibility that no human being was ever designed to carry. It is like expecting a single delicate thread to bear the weight of a mighty bridge. It is destined to fray and break. And relationships that begin with that kind of invisible, unspoken, yet immensely heavy pressure rarely, if ever, survive the inevitable revelation of its crushing reality. The foundation is simply too fragile to withstand the truth. Consider again the timeless wisdom embedded in the story of Ruth. She did not pursue Boaz from a place of desperation, from a gaping wound of need, or from a frantic hunger for a rescuer. No, Ruth pursued excellence in her daily life, even in the most humble of circumstances. She showed up in the fields, gleaning with meticulous integrity, working with diligent perseverance, and holding her identity fully intact, unwavering even as a widow in a foreign land. She had every human reason, every societal justification to allow grief to collapse her into a state of utter neediness, to demand pity or seek a quick fix. Yet she worked as though she was not waiting for a handout, but was already a steward of abundance. She honored her calling and her commitments as though she had not suffered profound loss, but possessed an unshakable inner wellspring. And when Boaz saw her, it was not her desperation that caught his eye, for it was not her defining characteristic. It was her profound character, her unwavering virtue, her unassailable integrity that summoned his attention and his admiration. He declared, in words that echo through history, "All the city of my people doth know that thou art a virtuous woman." Her wholeness, her self-possession, her radiant character was what truly summoned him, drawing him to her with a magnetic force that transcended mere physical attraction. And that same immutable principle, that same divine law of spiritual attraction, is alive and dynamically at work in your story right now, preparing the way for your own divine connection. And yet, and this is truly where the unexpected depths are revealed, where the spiritual journey takes an even more profound turn, even that liberating truth, the understanding of wholeness as an internal self-generated state, is not the deepest layer of revelation. It is a vital layer, to be sure, but there is still more. Because buried deep underneath all of it, beneath the surface understanding of the waiting and the longing, underneath the conscious act of rehearsing the lack and the intentional cultivation of an active posture, even underneath the glorious pursuit of self-wholeness, there lies a hidden, often unspoken truth that most people never truly reach, never dare to confront. It is the quietly terrifying, profoundly personal question of whether you, deep in the most guarded interior of your own heart, actually truly believe you deserve what you are asking for. This isn't a question of whether God is capable of providing it, for his power is limitless. It is not a question of whether such a person exists on this vast earth, for his creation is boundless. No, the true inquiry, the one that holds the key to your breakthrough, is whether somewhere in the hidden, almost unconscious recesses of your own soul, you harbor a subtle, insidious belief that a love this real, this specific, this divinely appointed, this breathtakingly beautiful, is ultimately for other people, that it is a blessing reserved for those who are somehow more worthy, more pristine, less flawed than yourself. That you, with your unique and complex history, with the experiences that have shaped you, the moments you've seen too much, the mistakes you've made where you've done too much, the pain you've carried where you've felt too much, the seasons of stumble and fall where you've failed too much, that you are somehow disqualified, irrevocably barred from being on the receiving end of something so utterly beautiful, so perfectly aligned, so profoundly sacred. And I want you to sit with that truth for more than just a fleeting moment. Allow it to reverberate in the silence of your spirit, to expose any hidden agreements you've made with unworthiness. Because that belief, that hidden, unspoken, often unconscious agreement you've made with a lie about your own deservingness, that, my friend, is the real impenetrable wall. It is not an external barrier erected by an outside enemy, though the enemy will certainly reinforce it. No, it is a self-imposed prison, an agreement you unknowingly made inside your own heart, a contract signed in the ink of past hurts and perceived failures. And until that agreement, that deeply ingrained false belief, is definitively broken, revoked, and shattered by the power of truth and grace, you could do everything else perfectly right. You could hold every spiritual standard, embody every virtue, become everything God is calling you to become on the surface, and still, tragically, find a subtle, almost imperceptible way to sabotage the arrival of the very thing you have been praying for, the very blessing your soul deeply yearns for. Why? Because deep down, beneath all your conscious effort, you do not, on a fundamental level, truly believe you are the kind of person that beautiful, miraculous, divinely appointed things happen to. But here, beloved soul, is what God wants you to hear, to absorb into every cell of your being right now in this powerful, pregnant moment. He did not design the glorious sun to question whether it deserved to rise each morning, to bring light and warmth to the world. He did not ask the vast, mysterious ocean to earn the right to be expansive, to hold the depths of creation within its embrace. He did not require the countless stars to prove their worth, to pass some celestial test, before he painstakingly placed them, shimmering and radiant, in the infinite canvas of the night sky. And listen closely to this profound truth. He did not create you with all of your exquisite complexity, with the intricate tapestry of your history, with the profound depth of your longing, with every scar and every triumph, only to then cruelly withhold the very thing he so lovingly placed the capacity to experience and to give so deeply inside of you. The boundless capacity for love that you carry within your spirit is not an accident of nature. It is not a burdensome curse, a heavy weight to be endured in isolation. No, the love you carry, the very essence of your being, is a divine prophecy. It is a preordained declaration of what is destined to manifest in your life. And hear this liberating truth. Prophecies, by their very nature, do not expire. They do not fade away or become null and void. They fulfill, they manifest. They come to pass in their appointed time, driven by the unwavering will of the divine. So, here then is the final, most transformative shift in perspective. The one that, once truly embraced, changes everything you thought you understood about this entire season of your life. You have, understandably, been thinking of this period as a waiting room, a sterile, sometimes frustrating place where you are merely sitting, passively biding your time until the real thing begins, until your life truly starts. But, my dear friend, it is not a waiting room. It is something far more sacred, far more dynamic, far more profoundly significant. It is a womb. And wombs, in their very essence, are not passive, dormant spaces. Quite the contrary. They are, in fact, the most active, the most intensely creative, the most miraculously transformative environments in all of creation. Within the sacred confines of a womb, nothing is static. Everything is in constant, furious, yet hidden motion. They transform raw potential into tangible reality. They develop intricate systems and perfect forms. They grow something utterly new, something breathtakingly unique, that did not exist before, nurturing it with every fiber of their being. And when the divinely appointed time is complete, not when you can no longer bear the pressure, not when you impatiently demand its arrival, but when the sacred formation is entirely finished, when every cell has grown, every system has developed, Every part is perfectly fashioned. What was once hidden, protected, and intimately nurtured finally emerges into the glorious light of day, fully formed, breathing, alive, ready to take its place in the world. You are not waiting for your life to begin, for some future point where joy and connection will finally arrive. Your life, your magnificent sacred life, is happening right now, in this very womb of transformation, within this very pressure, within this sacred and specific formation that God Himself is overseeing. And the person who is coming, your divine counterpart, is not coming to start your story from scratch. No, they are coming to step into a story that is already rich, already vibrant, already magnificent in its unfolding, and to walk beside you as an equal and cherished partner into the next glorious chapter, a chapter so grand, so filled with purpose and divine synchronicity that neither of you could ever possibly write it alone. Place your hand on your heart right now. Feel the rhythm of your own life beating within you. Do this not as a mere ritual, not as an empty gesture, but as a profound, unwavering declaration of truth. Speak these words over yourself, not just with your lips, but with every fiber of your being, and mean every single word. I release the lie that I am too late, that my time has passed, that my season has been missed. I release the agreement that said I was not enough, not worthy, not deserving of magnificent love and profound connection. I release the insidious habit of rehearsing what is missing, of fixating on the voids, and I choose, right now, in this very breath, to rehearse what is promised, to meditate on the abundant goodness that is already mine and what is swiftly unfolding. I break every agreement I have ever made with unworthiness, in every desolate season, in every profound silence, in every moment I doubted that beautiful, miraculous things were also specifically made for me. I declare with absolute certainty that my waiting has not been wasted, not a single moment of it. Every day of it was intentional preparation, a divine sculpting of my soul. Every night of it was sacred formation, a deep and mysterious work of grace. And I step forward now, not desperate, not diminished, not depleted, but whole, exquisitely ready, and fully expectant. The person heaven built for me, the divine connection orchestrated by the hand of God, is undeniably on their way, drawing nearer with every passing moment. And I will not shrink before they arrive. I will expand. I will embody the fullness of who I am. I will not disqualify myself before the verdict lands, for the verdict has already been declared in my favor. I receive this season, every challenge and every quiet moment, as the final perfecting act of preparation before the greatest, most miraculous arrival of my life. I am seen deeply and truly by the eyes of God. I am chosen, set apart for a divine purpose and a profound love. I am exactly who God said I was, a masterpiece in progress, radiant and whole. And I will not move from this glorious truth again, not for anything. If this message resonated deep within you, if it confirmed something your spirit already knew, a whisper of truth echoing from the divine, then share it with someone who desperately needs to hear it, someone walking through their own season of waiting. Drop the word "arriving" in the comments below so I know you received this truth, that it landed in the fertile ground of your heart. And please, stay close to this space, remain connected, because what God is releasing in this powerful season is not just intended for you alone. It is moving through you, an unstoppable current of divine grace and purpose. And the next message, the next revelation, will meet you exactly where this one left off, propelling you further into your magnificent destiny.